Why aren't prices coming down? I feel like the pandemic allowances should be over. When prices went way up in 2020, 2021, everyone blamed it on less workers producing and disruptions in the transporting of goods. Well, to my knowledge, most people who stopped working in the pandemic are back to work. Highways are getting jammed again and stimulus checks have ceased for any able-bodied people. So why haven't prices come down to 2019 levels? Is there a justifiable reason beyond just plain greed? I'm referring more to everyday purchases than housing or car sales. A simple example: $8 deodorant. Prices rarely come down, mostly go up. Lower inflation just means they go up more slowly. Inflation is like an endless tax that chips away at every dollar you will ever have. I'm making more money than I ever have, and I'm more broke than I have ever been in my entire working career. I miss the days of being able to afford 3 square meals a day. The manufacturers found out you'll still buy their stuff even if it's too expensive. I would describe it as taking the elevator up and the stairs down. When the pandemic scarcity allowed prices to finally jump, it resulted in windfall profits for firms. The process for whittling away these higher margins involves competition between firms over time. Eventually one firm will try to gain market share by cutting margins and it will work. That will push other firms to compete on price, again. But it takes time and firms are not in a huge rush. It takes massive jobs losses that results a contraction of spending, in order for the prices to come down. Right now, there is only a white-collar recession where the tech sector are shedding jobs that they overhired during the pandemic, but for the most part, mainstream job market remains strong. There is no free lunch. Prices will come down when you hear layoff rumors lurking at the company water cooler. Thank you all for replying. Maybe I'm late to the game, but it seems like there is little incentive to be a worker bee anymore. Back in our grandparents' day, a guy could work at a factory and make enough to own a house and raise multiple kids, even with his wife staying home. And on top of that, he'd often get a pension at the end. Now it seems like the goal is to somehow amass enough money to buy a lot of stocks and then let the remaining worker bees bust their butts for your never-ending shareholder profits. Do any of you feel truly appreciated and rewarded in your jobs? Companies saw they can get away with price gouging and it won't go down for most items. With inflation slowing, the price increases should slow down, however. Prices won't come down because a few people got $1,200 once upon a time. Don't you still have that left over? It should be enough to retire on, yet here you are asking for prices to go down. 1. It's not even across all. It will never be fast enough for any of us. 2. Corporations choose when to raise and lower prices. If they choose to lower them, they will go down. They mostly have been making record profits. Why would they stop that? 3. In some cases the number 2 is also forced. For instance, Walmart has a ton of market control because of their size. They can mandate pricing on certain things because they have a monopoly to an extent. Because people are still buying loads of products. They will not lower prices until enough people cannot afford their shit anymore. My mom always has told me that once prices go up they don't come back down always. Moms don't lie, man. Companies have no incentive to lower their prices, so they won't. Prices won't come down, price growth will slow down. Until corporations soak up every last free dollar out there. That's when. Because our corporate overlords say it will not happen. Prices on goods will never come down, except televisions. Prices are always sticky. And they always rise even if it's slowly. That's why the minimum wage need to also rise. So you know when people said lowering inflation would reduce prices? Yeah, they were lying to you. Prices and inflation aren't related in that manner, and prices are more likely than not to never drop. I'm guessing you're referring to prices of things that are important like food and shelter. In which case these are referred to as inelastic goods, which mean prices doesn't affect demand much. Which in turn means when any kind of shock happens, prices rise with little resistance and will struggle to come back down if at all, because the demand will change very little to the price difference. Edit minor typos. Greed. They won't come down unless people refuse to buy. If you are buying deodorant at $8, why would they sell it for $5? Same thing happened in 2007 or so when gas prices shot up. Oh, we have to raise the prices because the cost of transporting the goods has increased. When gas prices went down, the prices did not. It is to make room for more homelessness, lol. Every time there's a crisis, the one priority is keeping property values inflated. Corporate greed. Don't be shocked that everything costs even more in European countries because European companies are greedier than their American counterparts. Some of the pricing is due to scarcity, which actually worries me more than inflation. Have you checked out plain old cooking oil lately? Economy was overstimulated, a bunch of new money printed out of thin air and distributed through society in many forms. You're witnessing an economy trying to find new equilibrium between the cost of goods, services, and labor and the amount of dollars available to pay for them. Because we failed to riot. Business raise prices, people still pay like nothing. Things settle down, but people still not saying nothing and just paying the price. You really think these businesses are just gonna be like, "Velp, I guess we better lower the prices"? Hell no, people are paying it. They staying right where it's at. How does the economy sub continue to fail so hard at Economy 101 Topics Lamau? We would need deflation for prices to come down. For that to happen, we would need much higher unemployment and for people overall to stop spending money. In other words, the only way to get prices to come down is to stop buying stuff. Wages are higher. Prices are higher. Everything is 15 higher than it was 2 years ago. It's as if we started using a new currency that has a 1.15 exchange rate to the 2020 dollar. Someone's doing their best to get rid of Trump because he would stop the spending outside of the USA and on wars etc. and get the USA working on itself again. I really feel for all those families now sleeping on the streets. The American dream seems to be non-existent for large sections of the population. We printed lots and lots of money. The price increases from that are essentially permanent. Pretty simple. Corporate greed. Be careful what you wish for. Deflation is bad. If prices are going down, people wait for them to go down further before purchases, which can cool the economy too much and trigger a recession. Did you not believe them when they said we were creating a new normal? It's a new normal if household income under 100K means lower class. Too big to fail economy. The government decides who stays in business, not the consumer. You'll never see 2019 prices again. Wages have gone up and they'll not go back. The dollar has lost some amount of value and this is the new reality. Capitalism, simply put. Deflation is bad. You don't want deflation. Too many dollars thrown into the market. We make less now that we are both retired before retiring. We paid off all our debt. No vacations, no eating out, no movie theaters. Now we're very comfortable. Large savings, zero debt. Paid cash for Highlander. Our lives are pretty sweet. Thank you, President Biden. What an adorable question. The GovT is working overtime to destroy the dollar's value, both from a monetary and fiscal perspective. Greed has nothing to do with inflation. It's all GovT failure. Why would I lower the price if you'd still buy it? Prices will not come down. And they won't stop increasing. The annual increase may drop or not, but will not decrease. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Why? Locked-in long-term mortgages at below current market interest rates and already high prices are discouraging sellers.